go live here because this is just, so it's one of those things I think I've said before. Holidays turn into kind of any other day if we're in this business a lot of times. So today I could have already, if I was the one on call, had to go on 2 removals and done 2 embalmings, and I'm maybe just then getting home to get to see my family for the day. So it's definitely takes over your life and creates a very different situation. It's another relationship in your marriage or in your dating life. So I was going to talk a little about dating in the business and being married in the business. And some of this may seem just very basic information, but I think it needs to be said and reiterated to you guys. So when you're dating, if you hesitate to talk about what you want to go into and hesitate to talk about your career choice or what your interest is, and because you're worried about what the other person is going to think, then obviously it's not the right person. And I know that seems like it's not rocket science, but you would be surprised how many people actually meet somebody and try and make it work even though the other person doesn't want to talk about the job. So if from the beginning that's an issue, you have to walk away. You have to, because you have to have support in this job. This is not a job where you can just not talk about it at the end of the day, or not share what you're doing with your significant other. Like, your significant other becomes your therapist in a way, I think, with this job, because you're going to go home at night and talk about a lot of different things. And so you have to be with somebody that is a good sounding board for you with that, and that is a good support system for you, because some days you may not want to talk, but you need support. There's days you need to talk and need to just explain what crazy shit happened at work that day, because you do see some crazy stuff. And so, if you're dating somebody and you question whether they're the right person to be with you for this, then you have to walk away from them or the job, because it's never going to get better. It's only going to get worse the more you get immersed in the job and the business. So then when you're with someone and then you get to the point where you're getting married and, they're in it to win it, or maybe you're married and now you're choosing this profession, or, you're together and you're doing the apprenticeship and diving in, it's going to get better once you figure out the system, and it's going to get better in terms of that balance between them and you. Looks like my video may be locking up, so bear with me. I'm a little in the boonies, so the internet here is a little sketch. But so just, this week's video is not going to be that long, because it's really about, don't be with someone if they can't support you during any part of this process. This is a heavy job. It takes its toll. You have a third person basically in your relationship with this job. Even if you work in the most balanced funeral home that really focuses on your time and your energy, work still goes home with you. It's in your heart. It's in your mind. It's just kind of part of you. It's not like a lot of professions where you can go to work and come home and it's just, you leave it all at work. You're going to carry a heavy heart with you for certain families, and you're going to carry concern with you, like, is that obit going to be in the paper? And so you get online to check it just to make sure it made it. So you have to have someone that supports you during that, and that's going to understand if the phone rings in the middle of a movie, if the phone rings in the middle of date night, and maybe when you're having some intimate time and the phone rings and it's work and you kind of have to answer it. It's not something that can wait when you're on call and you're the first one on call. So it's hard to take a back seat to someone's work, but when it is such a time sensitive issue that we are dealing with, it does have to, your relationship kind of takes a back seat once in a while, and that is really hard. It's really hard for some people. I'm lucky I married someone who, it's similar but not similar. So my husband does landscaping and water feature type thing. And so he, when we met, he was doing lawn mowing and plowing and runs the business for that. And so he was kind of dictated by Mother Nature, as was I. And so we both were used to our phones ringing all times of day and night. You know, plowing at 2 a.m, people would call him, and death calls at 2 a.m. And it doesn't seem similar, but it actually was. So we came in with a very open-minded sense because of what we had walked in with. Between our both demanding jobs. It still sucks, and I still hate when he's on the phone, and he still hates when I get called for things, but it is the business. So, you know, you may think, I know a lot of you are at the point where you want to do the embalming and you want to be in the prep room. And that is something that is immediate. You know, you can't, like on a holiday like today, where someone will make a removal and do the embalming, but they'll probably push off the arrangement to the next day. That embalming still has to happen. So if you want to be in the prep room, you're more likely going to be working on a holiday, an evening, a weekend, because that's when things are happening all the time, is 24/7. You know, whereas arrangements are usually business hours, and they can get pushed off to a next day if they need to be. So definitely something to consider is that time issue and that sensitive issue of that. So I hope you guys are having a good Thanksgiving with your families. And, you know, my mindset for being a funeral director and on the holidays that I kind of ingrained in myself a long time ago, and I will impart on you, is even if you work, your family, if you have to work today, your family is alive and still here for you to celebrate with tomorrow. So if you have to go into work, your day could be a lot worse because you're there because somebody else lost somebody on that day. So trying to go at it from that mindset has always helped me. It's always given me a little more grace and humbled me in my position and in maybe my selfishness if I feel it that day, which it's not bad to say, oh, I wish I was with my family, but it kind of reminds you that somebody else doesn't get to be with theirs ever again. So be thankful for getting to go home to yours that night after work. So yeah, so I will talk to you guys soon. Obviously post questions if you have anything. I'm a pretty open book, so I know this is it can either be a really deep topic talking about marriage and relationships, but it's also very simple, is find the person you need to be with that's going to be with you for this, because it's a big career choice to take on. So I will talk to you guys soon. Bye.